Welcome to the Hachette Book Group presentation. I am Melissa Nicholas, and I spend my days working on library marketing for Hachette. Joining me in presenting titles are my terrific account marketing colleagues, Elizabeth Vanieri and Allison Powers. We are all delighted to join you for this event, and thanks to Carol and her team for hosting all of us again.
Miseducated. Growing up, Brandon Fleming was a self-described hoodlum, gang affiliate, a 14-year-old drug dealer who hated everything about school and teachers. When an injury ruined his chances of basketball stardom, he knew he had to find another path. Eventually, he overcame illiteracy and reinvented himself as a scholar. Brandon immersed himself in the work of Black thinkers from the Harlem Renaissance to present day, and eventually found debate, which became the means by which he transformed his life and the lives of others. Teaching underserved kids to be intrusive in places that are not inclusive, eventually at Harvard University, where he was recruited to join the Harvard debate faculty at the age of 26 and is currently making history and champions. This is an honest memoir about resilience, visibility, the power of books and words, the importance of role models, and ultimately overcoming all expectations.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Vanieri, and I'll be sharing with you several titles from Little Brown and Company. First up is The Sweetness of Water by Nathan Harris, which is a profound debut about the unlikely bond between two freedmen and the farmer whose alliance will alter their lives and his forever. In the waning days of the Civil War, brothers Prentice and Landry, freed by the Emancipation Proclamation, seek refuge on the homestead of George Walker and his wife Isabel. The Walkers, racked by the loss of their only son to the war, hire the brothers to work their farm. Parallel to their story runs a forbidden romance between two Confederate soldiers. The young men, recently returned from the war to the town of Old Ox, hold their trysts in the woods. But when their secret is discovered, the resulting chaos, including a murder, unleashes convulsive repercussions on the entire community. With candor and sympathy, Harris creates an unforgettable cast of characters and an epic whose grandeur locates humanity and love amid the most harrowing circumstances. Author Richard Russo said it best when he wrote, "With the sweetness of water, Harris has, in a sense, unwritten Gone with the Wind, detonating its phony romanticism, its unearned sympathies, its wretched racism."
The view was exhausting. As a woman of color, Wynn knows the Hollywood deck is stacked against her, so she's perfected the art of keeping tight control of her public image. Should scandal erupt, like her ex having a public meltdown, she calls in her longtime friend Leo to play her on-again, off-again boyfriend. It's mutually beneficial. Their PDA shifts the headlines back in Wynn's favor, and Leo uses the good press to draw attention away from his dysfunctional family. Except this time, on the French Riviera, something's off. A shocking secret from Leo's past surfaces, and the validity of their relationship, both personally and professionally, is thrown into question. Now they must finally confront the complexities of this relationship, and Wynn is forced to consider what is more important to her, her rising career or a very risky shot at real love. Written by a married couple, this book is a delicious summer cocktail of humor, glamour, romance, and beautiful prose.
All the Lonely People is a funny and moving meditation on love, race, old age, and friendship, and it will charm and uplift you. This book also reminds readers of the power ordinary people have to make an extraordinary difference. We meet Hubert Bird, a Jamaican immigrant in London. He's recently retired and he's totally feeding a web of lies to his daughter during their daily phone calls. Hubert tells his daughter that his life is perfect, he's got friends, he's having fun, but the sad truth is he hasn't left the house and none of this is true. Then his daughter decides she's coming to visit, and Hubert realizes he has to find a way to make his lies a reality. Along the way, Hubert stumbles across a second chance at love, renews a cherished friendship, and finds himself roped into an audacious community plan that seeks to end loneliness once and for all. This is especially touching as we begin, hopefully, to see the other side of the pandemic. The author Mike Gale uses his own experience as the child of Jamaican immigrants in the UK to create vivid and empathetic characters. You have my reading word. This is a wonderful choice for book clubs who enjoyed A Man Called Ove, The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, and one of my favorites, The Secret Diary of Hendrik Groen. A reading group guide will be available.
Fans of Josie Silver and Rebecca Searle will devour The Rehearsals, Annette Christie's romantic debut novel about a couple who call off their wedding after a disastrous rehearsal dinner, only to wake up the next morning trapped in a time loop together. Megan Givens and Tom Prescott are heading into what is supposed to be their magical wedding weekend on beautiful San Juan Island. But with 2 difficult families, 10 years of history, and all too many secrets, things quickly go wrong. After a disastrous rehearsal dinner, they vow to call the whole thing off, only to wake up the next morning stuck together in a time loop. Are they really destined to relive the worst day of their lives over and over? And what happens if their wedding day does arrive? Funny and big-hearted, The Rehearsals imagines what we might do if given a second chance at life and at love, and what it means to finally get both right.
Wildwood Whispers invites you into the Appalachian Mountains, where an enchanting tale of magic and dark secrets unfolds when a young woman travels to a small Virginia mountain town to bury her best friend. Mel Smith grew up hard, bouncing between abusive foster homes with only Sarah Ross as her constant. When Sarah dies in a suspicious car accident, Mel travels to the Appalachian town of Morgan's Gap to scatter Sarah's ashes in her family's garden. Mel finds an unexpected new home in Morgan's Gap, and she's promptly taken in by the local herbalist known as Granny. But there's darkness lurking in the woods at the edge of town. When an oppressive cult tries to threaten the peace Mel has finally found, she must learn to harness her burgeoning power and fight back. Willa Reese beautifully weaves fantasy, feminism, and mystery in rural Appalachia. This book is both a contemporary fairy tale and a slow-burning romance. Perfect for fans of Louisa Morgan and Constance Sayers, you will love this walk through the wild woods.
The Riviera House. Happy to be talking to all of you about Natasha Lester. Forever first published Natasha's The Paris Seamstress in September of 2018. The Riviera House will be the 4th book we publish, and it follows The Paris Orphan and The Paris Secret. These novels all stand alone, however, each comes with a promise. The promise to be completely transposed by the storyline and the setting. Natasha throws herself into research and brings her worlds alive vividly. One of my book clubs read The Paris Secret, which features British female pilots in World War II. This got starred reviews from Publishers Weekly and Booklist. We had a terrifically rewarding discussion, and I'll be honest, we all wanted to be fighter pilots afterwards. And now we have the Riviera House. A woman unearths a renowned painting stolen during World War II and discovers her lost heritage in this engrossing tale of love and heartbreak. We move back and forth in time between the museum and art scene of Paris in 1939 and the present-day French Riviera. The novel explores a fictionalized account of resistance spies and the Nazi theft of valuable artwork that occurred during World War II in occupied France. A robust reading guide will contain discussion questions and an essay about Natasha's research. Natasha joined Hachette for our 9th book club brunch last October, virtually from Australia. For those of you who attended that event, you got to see for yourself what a mighty wonder Natasha is. Her new book is perfect for fans of Kate Quinn and Pam Jenoff.
Set in the decades between the 2 world wars, the Memoirs of Stockholm Sven is the captivating story of one man who banishes himself to a solitary life in the Arctic Circle. In 1916, Sven Ormsson leaves a restless life in Stockholm to seek adventure in Svalbard, an Arctic archipelago where darkness reigns 4 months of the year, and where he might witness the splendor of the northern lights one night and be attacked by a polar bear the next. But his time as a miner there ends when an avalanche nearly kills him, leaving him disfigured. Sven flees even further, to an uninhabited fjord. There, with the company of a loyal dog, he builds a hut and lives alone, testing himself against the elements. Years into his routine isolation, the arrival of an unlikely visitor salves his loneliness, sparking a chain of surprising events that will bring Sven into a family of fellow cast-offs and determine the course of the rest of his life. Written in prose as breathtaking as the stark landscape it evokes, this book is a testament to the strength of our human bonds, reminding us that even in the most inhospitable conditions on the planet, we are not beyond the reach of love.
Hope you enjoyed this publisher presentation. If you'd like to see more book group speed dating, follow the link in the description and find more on readinggroupguides.com.